Hello, everybody. It's America's Supermom, and I just want to talk really quickly about gratitude. We are really in the middle of a lot of chaos right now and uncertainty. It is a pandemic for those of you that may listen to this recording later. We are sheltered in place, and we don't know what tomorrow may bring. And so for me, I love to create opportunities for gratitude, to recognize others. And that's a part of my super pledge as America's Supermom. The S stands for standing out, the U stands for uniting with the tribe, the P is for a positive outlook, the E is for making the most of events, and the R is for recognizing others. So it is at this time that I want to express gratitude, and I also want to acknowledge the women in the Celebrate You Women Embracing Wellness Facebook group. And I am mentioning them today because they the April Woman of the Month, and I am just honored for such a recognition. But I want to talk about it really briefly because I just really had the opportunity of doing an interview with them last month, and we had a great dialogue about some of the issues that women struggle with, from parenting to being an entrepreneur. And that was a show where they were able to allow me to come and join them through Facebook and reach their audience and talk to them about some of the real issues that a lot of women are plagued with. So, me myself, overcoming depression, as in addition to being a mother of 15 and juggling my obligations with parenting, being a wife, and my husband is also a pastor of a church, so being in the ministry, all these different things that I juggle. I now can really embrace them and recognize that collaboration is the key to a lot of my success. It's being able to not have to take all the credit for everything being done, or not being the one that does everything. Working in a zone of genius that I feel is unique to me, and bringing people alongside that have their own zone of genius that they could contribute to a common goal, and of which we could all achieve together working in our zone of genius. So I want to recognize this Facebook group, and I encourage you to reach out to them, check out their site, get in with them to find out what type of things that they are involved in, who is associated with that group. Take this opportunity to network, because it's an opportunity for you to begin to move forward. You have to connect with like-minded people. A lot of us may be in a place right now where we're overwhelmed. We feel like nobody understands us. We could be even depressed, and part of that is your environment and the people that are pouring into you, meaning what are they saying to you? What kind of habits are they having? Is it positive or negative? And as a lot of us work to creating a better life for ourselves, we have to recognize that it takes us being proactive and creating that type of life that we want. And that means finding the right kind of people to place in our environment, not just allowing the environment to happen to us, but being strategic and leveraging people that will challenge us to be better, that will give us tips and tools and hacks so that we can move forward in life. So I want to recognize Lawana Bradford, Barbara Beckley, Gwen Marshall, and Jacqueline Brown. And I want to thank them for taking the time in the midst of everything that we have going on to recognize me and give me a platform to be a leader. And I say in conclusion that, when we have gratitude, we recognize, at least in my case, that I know I couldn't do it without myself. I mean, by myself. I know that God was with me and it's His Spirit that leads and guides me. And I recognize that I have struggles just like everybody else, and I have flaws. And, I'm not perfect. And in recognizing that, I understand that, we are given platforms not for the things that we are doing right. A lot of times it is through pain, turmoil. I now feel comfortable speaking to women about depression only because I was depressed myself. I was hospitalized 3 times. So I have overcome that obstacle, but it came with a price. It came with a lot of pain. It came with a lot of resentment. It came with a lot of unforgiveness. And as I continue to heal through that process and understand and have empathy for other people, I recognize that it gives me a platform to be able to share with others. So a lot of people, I challenge you that when you get platforms where you are recognized for things that you're doing, don't get caught up in the mindset of where you're at and, about this notoriety. Think about why you were given that platform. Who is the audience for that platform? Where are they? How can you reach them? What can you share with them? Right? And so as we recognize that, just imagine being on a pedestal. Imagine being on a stage. Imagine being behind a podium where you're speaking out to the people, right? That's what usually happens if you have a platform. But I challenge you to not stay at the podium. Okay, part of really enacting change and seeing how things are different and really resonating with people's messages is getting off the stage and carrying the microphone with you. Carrying the microphone with you so that you can speak amongst the crowd and you could hear their stories and you can get their input, because it's not about talking at the audience. It's about listening to what they are struggling with and then providing answers that may have served you and how you got out, so that it's relevant material that they can implement and use in their own lives. So don't get caught up in the platform. Don't get caught up in the stage. Recognize that it is a result of the work that was done in the dark, in the times when nobody else was around, when you felt like you were alone, so that you can recall and remember that we all have struggles. We all are imperfect. But if we come together and unite, we can make not only the world better for ourselves, but also for those that we encounter, and we can have a lasting impact that goes beyond just right now, but it lasts for generations to generations. So I want to thank you guys for listening. I also am doing a podcast. So if you are interested in being a guest for my show, please feel free to email me at info@LachelleAtkins.com. This is an opportunity for you to recognize that you may have a voice. There's something that you want to share. There's a story that you've overcome that could be a blessing to other people. So reach out. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and I have a YouTube channel. So there's plenty of different ways that you can get a hold of me and have this opportunity where you could share your insight and wisdom with other people. So I want to thank you guys for listening. And again, I encourage you to check out the Celebrate You Women Embracing Wellness Facebook group. They're doing positive things. They have positive posts. It's a great network of women that are connecting with one another and supporting one another through events, through promotions, if it's books that they have, or mentoring programs. The list goes on and on. So I want to thank you guys again, and may you have a wonderful day.